All right, we're being live streamed. That's great. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind. It is Thursday, the 16th of June, 2022. I'm John Lavenia, and I am glad to be here with you today. It is going to be a fun day. I know for some of us, it's already been a fun day. Lynn's winding down over there in Australia. It's very late. But wanted to mention that last night we had our, for our members here, we had our networking magic session with Glenn, where he covered some awesome stuff, how to create a network in 3 steps, right? To like kind of set up your own network, which could mean a couple of different things, right? So if you missed that, go ahead and check it out. It's in the archive for our members. If you're not yet here, remember, you're just seeing this on YouTube, you can go to jlsuccessmastermind.com, get yourself a free trial membership. Guaranteed you're going to love it. Today, being Thursday, I am here with you. I'll be here with you again tomorrow, but today, we've got some meetings that I'm going to be doing to talk about introducing other experts. In other words, people who specialize in different fields of business. Like, of course, we've got Adrian, who runs Life and Business Tools. We've got a huge archive on that, and he's an expert in like contracting and crossing T's and dotting I's and stuff that I find very exciting. No, not at all. Okay, but he's really good at that stuff. I mean, he was a barrister and, legal. And so there's that, stuff. The stuff that kind of turns me on is sales, copywriting, video marketing, stuff like that. So we're looking to introduce some more of that. That's going to be for our members here, as well as, of course, on Fridays, we have our Be Heard session, which we can talk about whatever you want. But I'm looking to introduce some more entrepreneurship driven material in the evenings. Okay, obviously our mornings are taken up with our general sessions Monday through Friday. So that being said, stay tuned, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I want to talk with you today a little bit about the power of your intention. I was just reminded twice this morning, like before noon. So it's, here in the East Coast, just turned 12 o'clock, right? So this morning I got 2 powerful examples of the power of intention. In fact, the late Wayne Dyer wrote a book called The Power of Intention, where he likened it to more like a spiritual attribute rather than just something you think about. You can read the book if you're interested. It was one of his later books. So in any event, but it's bigger than just you. In other words, the way he put forth the ideas was that, intention is something quite divine, and you can work with it and you can observe it and you can, of course, have your ownership of it, but it's actually bigger than just what you think. So let me get into that here today, because we've been kind of on this kick. Well, I have, with reading Bob Proctor's book, You Were Born Rich. He reminded me of the power of faith. Now, it's not like I've had no attention on it at all up to this point for however long I've been studying stuff and attempting to apply principles into my life. But I had, and I admitted to all of you just recently, I have the tendency to be very hands-on and, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And that's all good, work ethic, all that, right? Responsibility, that's great. But to balance that with the idea that I don't have to have all the answers. I'm actually not the doer. I'm an instrument. I am an individualization of that energy that already is, right? That's something where I could visit that more often. In other words, I could take the time more often, certainly in the mornings, okay, but throughout my day, to stop and reflect and meditate and just, get in present time and quiet, just get quiet and imbue the activities that I'm going to engage in with the qualities of the, it's been called many things, but the field of pure potentiality. In other words, to empower and to make efficient each individual action, like Wallace Wattles talked about in The Science of Getting Rich, but to do that with more of a sense of calmness. That doesn't mean slow. You can be warp speed and be totally calm, okay? But a sense of assuredness, faith, there's that word again. So, intention. There have been times when I've not done what I just described to you, when I've been, frantic and it's all me, and like everything I touch turns to shit, and what the hell's going on? And just anybody ever experienced that? No, just me. Okay. So it's like, wow, and so that's like a downward spiral. You can get more and more frantic, I suppose, or more and more, desperate and whatever. And so that's, things that I've had to extricate myself out of that pattern by stopping, getting quiet, and doing those sort of things. And so in those times, I have found it difficult to buy the idea that the universe is conspiring for my greater good. Anybody ever heard that? Right? What you seek is seeking you. Your goals, and desires, want you more than you want it. Right? Okay. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Right? If you want to get biblical. What's another quote from there? It's if a son asks his father for bread, will he give him a scorpion? No. Right? So it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, pressed down and running over, and the bounty and all this. And so well, I've had a hard time buying that when I'm in the state of it's all me. Now, the title of what we're talking about here is the power of your intention. So you've got participation in this, right? You're not removed from it, right? You're participating. But the idea that it's not all you is what I'd like to remind you of and rekindle, if you will, wherever you feel like you're at in your own, personal, certainty, confidence, faith, and look, there's lots when I say faith, I'm not talking about religion. There's lots of different paths and scriptures and I'm quite obviously on an intellectual path, right? I like to tear stuff up, see why it works, if it works, right? Why it doesn't work, why it broke, right? So stuff like that. So I'm very intellectual in that way. And that's not an easy road, right? Then there's the devotional path, right? Where people are all, lofty on, their devotional, studies or, singing, chanting, meditating, et cetera, dancing, right? The whirling dervishes and all this. So that would be, we could say, a more of a devotional approach. We're not terribly interested in the mechanics of it, right? But that has not been my path. And there's, so there's lots of different approaches to developing one's own faith in the workability of this energy, this pure potential, this higher self or true self, that which doeth the work. So this morning, here's what happened. So yesterday, my daughter, who is in her studies and she has to partner with, people to do different projects and stuff. And she's had a little bit of discord, nothing major, but non-optimal conditions with one child that partnering with on this long-term project, right? It's a bunch of work, and it turns out that another kid who came to town is in a perfect kind of situation that she could partner with that kid, and it seems like it would be a utopian kind of a experience. And but she's already committed in this other thing. Anyway, she's all intentional about this. She's talking about, if I did the partnership with them, well, we got the other thing, and there's lots of other considerations, and there's lots of other people involved, and like we're already going down this road. And anyway, this morning, the administrator called and said, guess what? We got a change coming here. It would be great if your daughter could partner with this kid. Okay, now let me qualify this. My daughter, who's very intentional and a magnet, she's like a magnet. Like no matter where we go, if there's money to be found, she'll find it. We're walking through an airport, right? There's $1 on the bench. There's like thousands of people, and she's the one who saw the $1 on the bench. Hey, I'll have $1, right? And I mean, walking down the street, she'll find treasure. Unbelievable, right? Actually, quite believable. But you see what I just did? Who's getting in the way of the intention? So she doesn't have those filters. Yeah, but you got to figure out how it all works, and I mean, what's the likelihood of seeing $1? She doesn't have the Q&A about it. That's why I say, the intellectual path is not an easy one. I got a lot of Q&A, a lot of Q&A. So she just attracts stuff. And pretty much anything she wants. I mean, is there anything she hasn't gotten that she wanted? I mean, my goodness, we just invested $500 in chickens and a chicken coop and everything. She's got chicks. She's out there and she wanted chicks. I want chicks. I want chicks. I want chicks. She's got the chicks. They grow fast, by the way. We've had these chicks for 4 weeks, maybe. And they were like, they came in a box, a little tray, and at the, where we shopped, you probably get a kick out of this, Lindsay. There's a store called Tractor Supply Company. Anybody ever heard of? Yeah. Okay. Lindsay knows. It's like farmer supplies and stuff, it's like chicken feed and like, the fencing to put up the, for the horses or whatever. And I'm like, I'm in a new world over here. I'm a city slicker. So we're like Tractor Supply Company customers now. We got the app, right, with the frequent flyer card. So anyway, we got chickens, which, from a preparedness standpoint, I mean, there's a protein source, eggs, right? I mean, that's cool. Who knows what's going on with the deliberate destruction of Western civilization, but, let me at least take care of my family. We got a little bit of a piece of our backyard that is now chickenified. So my daughter wanted chickens, and we agreed. It was a good idea. She has them as pets. I'm like, it's a protein source. So we got different ideas about it, but the intention stuck. But just this morning, that idea that she had I'm talking about less than 24 hours. Like she was all hot on this idea of creating this partnership. And there's all these stops, all these logistical, mechanical stuff in the way. And it all evaporated overnight. She got what she wanted. I want to do that. Example number 2. So now grown-ups, okay? So now we've got more complications involved. Called us, right? More people involved. And so we're looking at, we got this beautiful property, and we're looking at, there's a fence that was put in by, previous owners or builders or whatever, but it's not the complete property. And there's a few, maybe 150 feet worth of fence that we could put in, rip the old stuff out, make it all match, make it all nice, right? Make sure there's no animal traffic. I actually had a rabbit in the yard the other day. Back when I had a greyhound, that would have been certain death for the rabbit. But anyway, the rabbit was able to find its way back out. So we got some gaps in the fence or whatever. And after all, I got chickens, right? And they're going to be running around. We're going to have to clip their wings so they can't fly over the fence. But, they come out of the coop, they're going to run around and peck and eat the little bugs and stuff. They are crazy about bugs. Like they see like a little beetle or something. It is like a greyhound on a rabbit. Like that's how aggressive they are on bugs. Plus they, they're fertilizing while they're cleaning your lawn. So this is, I think it's a good move. Anyway, so we want to put in this fence. We got the bid. Hey, it's going to be thousands of dollars. And okay, cool. Let's figure out what kind of, plus there's the demolition to take out the old stuff. And between this property and the neighbor's property, there's these hedges, and they're all, we're going to have to get them to trim the hedges. You're going to have to talk to the neighbors to see about, creating some space there and whatever. This morning, while I'm in my morning meeting with Shannon, we're doing some work together, and I'm hearing equipment going on outside. The neighbors are taking down the hedges. And I don't even mean trimming the hedges. I mean, they decided it's time for renovation. I think they're putting in the fence. I think that's what they're doing. Why else would they be taking out the hedges? I might not be paying for the fence. At least on that line, right? There's another, perpendicular. But Shannon and I are sitting there, we're looking out the window, and we're seeing hedges, and these are good, 10, 15 feet tall, some of them, trees, small trees, basically. And we're watching them come down. And I said, they're not trimming the hedges. They're like taking the stuff out. So I don't know, maybe they're putting in a garden, or maybe they're putting in a fence. The point is that there was work that was going to needed to be there. I have not been in communication with that neighbor. John wasn't involved at all, except for one thing. And I don't have the document here, but except for one thing, I got the bid, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. right? 5 grand or whatever to do. Yeah, let's do that. I made a decision, and then I didn't even, in this case, right? I didn't even put the things in motion that needed to be in motion to do this. Was this the power of my intention? No, it can't be. Hold on a second. No, John. I mean, it's if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You got to work your ass off, right? You got to get your hands in everything. See all this Q&A? The hedges just came down. I don't know why. I just know that we needed to have some space there. I still got to trim my side. In fact, I got a beautiful hedge trimmer attachment coming. I was paying this bozo $150 a month to cut my lawn and do basically nothing. We fired him, and I've been buying up lawn care equipment, and it's like cool. I'm like out there like sweating, like pushing a mower, man, weed whacking, trimming the edger, right, and it makes the nice straight lines. And now I got the hedge trimmer. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna trim the hedges. I'm like Captain Domestic. Now I'm sure there's gonna be a time when I say, you know what, screw all this. You're hired. But right now, it's a wonderful respite from all of the subjective, thinking and whatever. I'm just out there, muscle and, plants and stuff, air. So, so 2 examples of where I didn't get in my own way. I had an intention, or my daughter did. And so things are in motion now that I couldn't have with all of my best thinking, right? I didn't plan out the drama that leads up to the solution. I didn't know what combinations would appear. So there's a Goethe quote, or was it William H. Murray? Let me go ahead and pull this up, because William H. Murray quoted Goethe. And so, which guy said this? So quotes, there's my quotes. Where the hell are my quotes? Here they are. I got a list of quotes that I used. Some of them I put into Integrity is Everything, because I was like, man, that's perfect. But I actually accumulated them onto a document. Okay, so this is William H. Murray, 1913 to 1996. He lived, and he was heading to Bombay to the and heading to the the mountains and what have you, going on a big expedition. It says here, but when I said that nothing had been done, I erred in one important matter. We had definitely committed ourselves, and we were halfway out of our ruts. We had put down our passage money, booked a sailing to Bombay. So that was a decision, all right, based on an intention. This may sound too simple, but it is great in consequence. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. I gotta get the words out of my mouth here. Kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. I learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets, and here he quotes Goethe. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So it was actually William Murray that I was quoting there. So the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. So then how do I diminish or dilute the power of my intention? The power of your intention. How do we do that? How do we do that? With counter intention. So yes, we're going in this direction. Yes. But here's all the reasons, considerations, right? So intention, counter intention. the power that we have to postulate and intend and decide and to, have thoughts inductively, the power that we have to do that, which is, via our mental faculties, which we could say are, we've been granted dominion and causation and all this, right? Made in the image of the creator, right? So therefore we are co-creative beings. And so I can induce thought using my mind power and have an intention. I can do that. And going back to Wayne Dyer, the argument that he makes, or what he's promulgating, is that, that impulse of desire is bigger than just you. It's divinity. It's God's will for you. It wants you as much as you want it, and even more. So there's the intention. The counter intention are all my considerations of why I can't, or all the complications that will be necessary. There is this Jesus guy you've heard of, I think, right? So he didn't have counter intention. And then we can observe, right? If you read scripture and gospel and all this, right? You can see, oh, fish and loaves, man. There it is. I'm not there yet. So where do we need to work? If the power of our intention already is, if you're with me on this and you're buying what I'm selling here, is that this is a powerful thing and you've already got it, then where do we need to work? On eliminating all the stops that we put in its way. Now back to Proctor and You Were Born Rich. What he said in that book, in the chapters that we just went through this past week, we intended to go through 3, 4, and 5. We got through 3 and 4. But in chapter 4, Let Go and Let God, he talked about, all right, you get into like doubt, right? And all this doubt, we could also say is a counter postulate, right? Here's my idea. Here's why I can't, right? That fight. So, and that we experience that as doubt, right? Is one word that we could use to describe that. So then what must we do? Stop right there. Pull out your goal statement, your affirmative statements, your reminders, and get out of your own way. I mean, it all works out, right? I mean, look, you're all here. It all worked out. None of you are a corpse. It worked. Regardless of your best thinking. Despite myself. So can we have an intention and just have an intention? Not knowing how it's going to happen. I don't know. But rather than belaboring the not knowing this, let's understand that this impulse of desire is profound and bigger than just what you think. Now, Napoleon Hill said that an educated person is not a person with an accumulation of general or specialized knowledge. Okay, an educated person is a person who has so developed the faculties of their mind that they can acquire anything they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to develop, cultivate, optimize our own faculties. I've been out of balance. I've got good faculties of reason, memory, perception, pretty good. Okay. I wear glasses, so, I'm not talking about just 5 physical senses. I'm talking about mental faculties here. Imagination. How's that one? Who the hell is calling? How's that one? Intuition. How's that one look? So what I think I need to do is get a little bit quiet, a little bit more often. Stop thinking so much. Okay. Now, other people, I mean, you could say, you know what, I throw caution to the wind and I blunder and I'm a walking calamity. Oh, okay. Well, then, use your power of reason a bit more, right? Work on that. Think a bit more. I'd say I'm out of balance in the other direction. And we got to have both, right? We've had this conversation before. I think a few months ago, we talked about left and right brain and however you want to label it. I don't give a damn about the labels. Okay. But, creative versus constructive, aesthetic versus mechanical, right? So things like that. I tend to be more on the analytical, mechanical, constructive side, right? I mean, I appreciate creation and aesthetics and all that. We all have both. But I think I'm, if I have to say I'm in one direction or the other, it would be more like a, left brain, reason, analytics. So these are multiple labels, right? We're talking about, basically the same truth and creating balance between, intuition, imagination, and memory, reason, creation versus construction, right? It's the same balancing act. Great news for everyone. And you can see, seek examples in your own life, seek evidence just from your own past, right? I mean, since you do have a memory, might as well use it, right? So look at times when spontaneous, fortuitous, oh, holy crap, I had nothing to do with it. And yet there it is, it's perfect, right? So seek to remind yourself of those things. You could even, how we've talked about like a gratitude list or an integrity list and things like that. You can even have like a, spontaneous, miracle list, I suppose you can call it. I wanted it. I didn't do anything. I got it. That, kind of a list of those situations, which are real because you experience them. Okay. And by the way, when we say, miracle, right, I'm saying that as just something we don't have scientific. We didn't analyze, the proof of, here's exactly the mechanics of it, right? Just let it be. Just let it be. No need for accounting at this time, right? So we can call that, and you can call it whatever you want. But that's one of the words that came up for me. And I think that right there, by kind of acknowledging and validating that, yes, these things happen in our lives, that's one way that we can not be so married to our own considerations about how. I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't have all the answers. Never did. Not in my own life. Not in yours either. Now there's other people, they got all the answers for you, for your life. That's kind of a funny bit. Okay, then even their own life isn't working. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? The power of your intention. And of course, the corollary is counterintention and how we get out of our own way. Did I hit a nerve with anybody today? You got some thoughts on this? Come on out. No need to raise hands. We got a small crowd here today. Just unmute your mic and start yapping. Hey, Catherine.
I've got a couple things going on that I haven't really talked about yet, but I've been concentrating on this. This is kind of the big thing you've been teaching, and with Neville Goddard, and learning how to imagine what you want. I've got a couple things in the works that I'll know by the end of this week if it's actually going to happen, but it will free up all my time so I can completely concentrate on my business. So I'm so excited about this. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just knew that it was.
Right.
And so
you
fingers
knew
crossed, knock
that
on wood.
It was. Yes.
I knew it was going to happen.
There it is. Wow. All right. So I've had 3 examples today. That is great. Well, and now that my attention's on it as well, Catherine's getting exactly what she requires by whatever mechanisms. I don't know. But now we're both validating that. And so is Edward, Janet, Lindsay, Lynn, Mandy. Great. Now we know. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. All right, Catherine. Anybody else on this power of your intention? Anybody else? Hey, Lynn.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about intention, which is a very interesting word for me because, well, first of all, it's like intention is kind of like innocence, but it's not like ignorance. So if you want to do something with intention, you need to meet it almost in a meditative state. Yeah. My lived example of that is learning tango, and you learn the steps, and then the instructor says to you, no, you don't. You do this with intention. So you just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, there's a paradigm shift, and you take it into your body. And then you're powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's a sort of a physical expression of kind of what you're talking about, I think.
Okay. So you did learn the steps. Okay.
Yeah.
So intellectually, you had to have some foundation.
You have to have the
Right.
intellectual thing, you work it through, and it can actually be quite hard intellectually to start
Mhm.
with. But once you've practiced that with your brain and your body, it's let go of the brain.
Right. Yes. I've seen that happen in my own life. You mentioned the paradigm shift,
Yeah.
right? Where you switch from what's been called conscious competence to unconscious competence.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And it's there. Then you don't even have to think about doing it anymore, as was proved the other day. It's like, oh, it's still there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you, Lynn. Great stuff. It's reminding me of Lindsay, who's here with us right now, where she had great experience with acrobatic or gymnastic. I've actually seen a video of Lindsay flying through the air, backflips and whatever. So that's not like the body doesn't just naturally do that. There's got to be something. Maybe Lindsay feels like talking. Hey, Lindsay, is there like, how do you get aerial, backwards? Like that's not normal, right? So how does that happen?
That's what actually I was going to say is, and you do it really through the effortless way. If you want to Neville Goddard it, because I had a teacher that said, do it or bust. And I busted my ass quite a few times in my head, but then you do it without thinking, it's almost a muscle memory. I mean, I can still do it. My dad said, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And I was like, watch yourself. However, I said, you can still do it. It's not as well. Nothing is easy if you let the habit go. So you need to keep things in a habit. And I think about that often because with intention, you have intention. You're going to, I did that every day of my life for a long time. I got my intention shifted. I wish it had not. However, I can still do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a doubt in my mind. It's not a big deal. And I was thinking I can do other things through the power of least, or the law of least action when it becomes a habit. But you have to have that intention. You know what you want. Forget your conditions, because there's always, when you think you've exhausted all options, you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're intending to do something, get off your ass and do it. I mean, that's just the way you can do anything. And we talked about this. You can, you can't have everything, but you can have anything. Why can't we have everything? If that's the case, I don't know.
Okay. Well, and look, I know you got that from me, that consideration that I had. Well, I can't have everything. I can't be an astronaut and a horse jockey and, right. But I can't have anything. So, well, then choose, right. And go do it. So maybe we can have everything. It's just my own consideration. So if
Hey,
that's,
I broke that down too, is you can have, if you want it, and you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. However, it's everything that everyone else wants you to do or thinks you should do. I think that plays a big part in it because we can't be all things to all people.
there you go.
So I think we can do anything we want to do, but you have to see it in your mind, or you can. I mean, I promise. The whole playing the flips in your mind, you have to see yourself doing that, or you're. I don't know how else you do that.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you this, and thanks for letting me lean on you a bit here, Lindsay. So your intention changed or shifted. Had it not, okay. So let me just go ahead and craft an image here. So you've got gymnastics, and then you've got being a mom and business owner, right? So you can have anything you want. Okay. Had you not made that shift, what would you be doing now? Like Cirque du Soleil acts or something, or like, where does that road lead? I don't know. I mean, I got a guitar over there.
Yeah.
You know, to what end? To what end? I'm going to go practice the guitar 12 hours a day and go join another heavy metal band and be broke or something? No, it's an avocation. It's fun, whatever,
Right.
but it's not, it's not my thing.
Well, that's true, and I do have a son that I always think guitars, they're like great looking instruments, but I've never even thought about picking one up and trying to make music. Okay, my kid told me at 2 years old, no, don't sing, mommy. I'm tone deaf. I love music. I never would have think to try to pick up a guitar and play it until my son actually did that, and I was like, wow, he plays drums, guitar, piano. And then I've got one that just like eats, breathes, sleeps baseball, but he's got as much musical talent as I do. It's not much. But we all love music, but we're not wanting to play the music. I guess that's, someone else's dream, may have a dream for that for us, but that may not be what we want to do.
Okay.
I never thought about taking gymnastics to it. I just love doing that. I always had a lot of energy. It was a great hobby, kept me in shape. But I always knew that I was not going to be able to work for someone else. I knew that from a very young age. That was not my thing.
Okay. So you did intend to shift your focus.
Mhm.
That was not thrust upon you. That was a self-determined decision.
Mhm.
Okay. And you are bearing fruit in a different way. Okay. Than with gymnastics. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go hang out at gymnastics, maybe even teach a class, take a class, do it on the weekends and whatever, right? I can go join a garage band or something and have fun. So look, and guys, this is a very sane thing to do, is to be able to evaluate the relative importance or non-importance of data, opportunities, right? And whatever, right? If everything is equally important, then nothing is, right? It's like the saying, if you got more than 3 priorities, well, you have none. So well done, Lindsay, right? So there's no penalty for saying I've shifted course, right? You get to do that. You get to decide which of these, everything, right? Which of these shall I have? And shall I optimize, maximize, make a spectacle of myself, right? Pick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When that phone weighed 400 pounds, and I'm going, oh gosh, make the call. I'm like, I remember that my teacher said, do 20 back tucks. Then before you sit down, I'm like, 10 4.
All right.
So it's like, okay, then the phone was like really loud. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
You
Good
get
stuff.
stronger in other areas, and I do lean on that because I'm like, I can do that. Make a phone call, please.
Right. Sometimes if I'm feeling stopped, I'll just get up and move, like what you're saying, and actually do the call while walking my dog or something.
I do that too.
Yeah, it's great. It's motion.
Yeah.
It's good. Unstopped. Thank you, Lindsay. You're awesome.
You are too, John.
Anybody else on the power of your intention? Anybody else? Nobody else. Okay, good. So we will wrap up then with that. I'm going to be back here with you tomorrow, and stay tuned for more announcements and stuff. And if you guys have questions, things you'd like to take up, go ahead and hit me up, right? Even people on YouTube, right? There's comments and stuff. I know there's a brand new channel and there's like, I don't know, 15 people on it or something. But if you happen to cross this and you've got some philosophical question, I'd love to take it up, right? I'm not here to assert my rightness. I've just been studying this stuff for some decades, and maybe we can find some workability in something, and then you can be right. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you again real soon.